Homan accepted $50,000 from undercover FBI agents posing as business people seeking government contracts, which Homan suggested he could help them get in a second Trump term. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt says that was a weaponized Biden Justice Department targeting a Trump backer.
To try and entrap one of the president's top allies and supporters, someone who they knew very well would be taking a government position months later.
The Trump Justice Department shut down a bribery probe.
And the White House and the president stand by Tom Homan 100% because he did absolutely nothing wrong.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
At the UN, French President Emmanuel Macron says France is officially recognizing the state of Palestine. And on Wall Street, the rally drives on, the S&P gaining 0.4%, the Dow adding 0.1%, the Nasdaq 0.7, all three again setting all-time highs. And Hurricane Gabriel's now a Category 4, on track to pass Bermuda. This is AP News. Julie Walker recaps yesterday's memorial to Charlie Kirk.
President Trump praising Kirk as a great American hero and martyr for freedom as he and other prominent conservatives gathered Sunday to honor the slain conservative political activist whose work they say they must now advance.
The assassin failed in his quest because Charlie's message has not been silenced. It now is bigger and better and stronger than ever before.
Kirk's widow, Mrs. Erica Kirk, will take over Turning Point USA, the organization he founded.
Everything that Turning Point USA built through Charlie's vision and hard work, we will make 10 times greater through the power of his memory.
She also told the packed State Farm Stadium in Arizona she forgives his killer.
I forgive him.
I'm Julie Walker.
The latest developments at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low temperature of 65 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we'll see a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 75 and winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Wednesday, chance of showers with a high of 70. Thursday, showers possible with a high temperature around 70. Friday, sunny and a high of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 82.
WCPT will be broadcasting a live in-person Union Strong panel on Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. And you're invited. Join me, Tom Hartman, and WCPT's morning host, Richard Chu, at the Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center in Broadview. Panelists include Paul Wendy from Ironworkers Local 63, Rob Fulton from Riggers Local 136, Cliff Horowitz from Horowitz and Associates, Andy Rico from IBEW Local 176, and Tom Villanova from Southland Friends of Labor. This event is proudly sponsored by Ironworkers Local 63, Riggers Local 136, Horowitz and Associates, IBEW Local 176, and Southland Friends of Labor. Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m., Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center, 2523 Lexington Street in Broadview. That's just off the 25th Street exit on the Eisenhower Expressway. All listeners must register to attend this free event at WCPT820.com. Just click on the banner.
Chicago's progressive talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Hey everybody, it's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez. I'm Dwayne Kennedy sitting in for Patti for an hour, and then Patti should be in about 6 or so. And then she can tell you the whole story about everything that's been going on. So I'm sitting in for her, and sitting in helping me out is
Paul Shavari.
Hey, Paul.
How you doing?
Oh, man. Glad to see you, brother, because I thought it was just going to be me in here. It would have been, again, a disaster.
Yeah, and likewise, I would have been really confused if Patti wouldn't have shown up. And it's like, all right, show's on. It's you, Paul.
It's on you, Paul. I hope you know how to, man. But since we were about to go to air, I'm sure people, I don't know if they've heard the news that Jimmy Kimmel is going to be back on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, free speech.
Oh, man. At least, right. Unless his speech is going to be, I quit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They told me not to say certain things tonight, so.
Yeah, man. So I think he's coming back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tuesday. Now, Paul, did you know anybody, or did anybody know anybody who, or were you a person who canceled your Disney subscription? Or
funny enough, I had like a trial thing with Hulu where it also came with Disney, and it expired like the day that they announced that Jimmy was going to be on hiatus. So coincidentally, I was going to quit anyway.
Okay.
But I think they can file me as part of the numbers now. Like, oh, they quit en masse, and including this Paul guy.
Yeah. So, that Paul is righteous.
So I guess outwardly I would say, yeah, I definitely canceled my subscription. Asterisk, I was going to anyway.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. Now I'm thinking about it. So who canceled? Now who's decided they might? I guess we're going to wait to see what Jimmy has to say tomorrow, and might say, "Oh man, I'm glad Jimmy's back," because I was already I was going through withdrawals. I was only off Hulu like an hour.
Well, for those that want to go back on that, you could just get a pair of rabbit ears and a TV and get Jimmy for free. I mean,
oh, that is right, huh?
Yeah,
old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Does anybody do that?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I mean, I can only get like 3 or 4 channels, but
that's all you really need.
Yeah.
What channels do you get?
So I get everything but like CBS, and then like all those little like side ones that come with it. You know, like Laugh and Grit and TV and all those. You know, like the .1 and the .2.
Yeah. Now, once they went to what is that called? The signal. What is that type of
digital antenna. Yeah, digital antenna.
What's it called, Paul? It's called an antenna, Dwayne.
But no, I know what you mean. Like I guess high definition versus standard definition. Yeah.
But what was new when they came back with that? Yeah, were the point channels. How did that even work? How does that?
I don't know. I know that the way they consolidated all of the frequencies from standard definition, and when they converted to digital, I guess that's a different way that you can program things. So I have no idea. But.
Yeah, well, they reduced channels down to fractions. Mm-hmm. I love channel 3.75.
Woo! It's annoying though when you got to like hit one channel at a time, and it's like, you know, you're on like 20 whatever, and you want to get to 30 whatever, and it's like, all right, 22.1, 22.2, 22.2.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to channel 18,000.7. Man. So Jimmy's coming back. And I'm, you know, I meant to say, you know, I was on his show.
I was going to ask you if, or even if just through the comedy grapevine, if there were interactions. But you were on.
I did his show.
Live.
Yeah, I did it a couple of times.
What talk shows haven't you done? Because I know for sure you've done the Late Show. I know for sure you've done Late Night with Conan.
Yes.
Now I'm finding out about Jimmy.
Yeah, those 3. Okay. That's it.
Those 3. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Okay.
I tapped out after that. I did Letterman, I did Conan, and I did Jimmy Kimmel, and I did a show that I don't even know if it had a host. This was years ago on a Friday night NBC show. Friday night, what did they call it? Something comedy. You know, I did that twice. Once was with Tom Kenny. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, Tom Kennedy, the original voice of SpongeBob. He was on Mr. Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he was hosting it one time. So that's been it, though, man.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking, man, what if, I mean, it's too late now, but that would have been cool to be back on. Now I'm wondering, is he going to have guests, or is it going to be all him, or is...
My guess is it would be a normal show, and then in the monologue, he'll address the elephant in the room, and then he'll go from there. But or maybe they'll just have Guillermo do the whole show.
Yeah, you're right, man. They need guests. He can't just be on for an hour just ranting and raving. Yeah. And I was like, man, that would have been cool to be on that show, you know, because those ratings are going to be ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So I would imagine maybe some star power to support him or something.
Yeah, I was with you. Oh, you know who they might have on? Because, he always does that thing with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so his friends will show up for him, and yeah.
Yeah. That would be funny, man. I don't know. People might how they would take it, but because they're supposed to be like fake enemies, right? Or do they still do that anymore?
I don't know. It's been a minute, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was like even when he was with Sarah Silverman, they did like a whole thing with like she was with Ben Affleck and he was with Matt Damon. Or
Yeah. So that could be a funny stick where they show all these celebrities who are glad he's back on the air, except Matt Damon. Back on. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, man. So that'll be. I don't watch his. I appreciate that he had me on his show. I don't really watch too many. Do you watch late night?
Not a lot.
No.
Like every now and then I'll catch it. Like, like with Kimmel, all I know about his show from the last year was like, I guess leading up to the election, he had like Josh Myers on to play Gavin Newsom.
Okay.
And then Haley Joel Osment playing J.D. Vance. And then,
really?
Yeah, they were doing and like, I want to say Will Sasso was there as the pillow guy. Yeah.
Oh, man, Mike Lindell?
Yeah.
You know what, man, this astounds me, amazes me, fascinates me, and I don't know if it appalls me, but how do so many people get involved with Trump and wind up in a bad place, and yet people still continue to align themselves to this cat? I'm bewildered, man.
Greed, probably. You like trying to seize an opportunity, thinking that, well, those guys were jerks. That's why they got tossed to the side. I'm not like them.
Yeah.
But they're all grifters. And,
but
opportunists.
Like Lindell lost a boatload of money messing with Trump. Look, yeah, it's so many people. Charlie Kirk, not messing with Trump, but just aligning himself in that world. Cat lost his life.
Yeah. But I think like dudes like Scaramucci, where it was like he didn't even last like more than a weekend.
Yeah, right. Peter Navarro went to prison. Oh man, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Paul. But you know what? It's not on me to get. Here's the thing. Now, I wanted to ask the listeners out there in listener land, what since we're moving into like a fascist state, what book or movie or TV show would you recommend, or have you seen, or do you watch that has sort of a fascist theme? Or any thought? I say this, like the flick I saw last year. A couple of times in the movie theater. That's how old school I am. I still go to the theater sometime. Was Civil War. You ever see that flick?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, woo!
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it twice.
Okay.
That's like the feel good movie of the year for me. That's gonna be my regular Christmas movie. With oh man, who's in it? What's the woman? She's, I can't remember. Oh man, Civil War. It's a good flick.
Kirsten Dunst. Oh,
Kristen Dunst. Yes.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, there was the one where like Texas and California team up or something like that.
Yeah. The United States has fallen into disarray and divided factions, and yeah, it's a good flick, man. That's a good flick. You should see that if you haven't. But hey, anybody out there and who's listening, I want all 28 of y'all to I'm sorry, 30. To tell me if what movie or TV show or book you've read or seen or looked at that you would recommend that you've seen. Oh, here's another one. I just started watching this maybe like last year. Was The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, okay. That one gets referenced a lot over the last few years with the Trump administration.
Handmaid's Tale, or as some people call it, the Republican Playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Project 2026.
That's right. I think they would just have to watch and say, hey, these are good ideas. Rewind that. I got to jot that down.
Rewind that would be a good slogan for their campaign, too.
Yeah, let's rewind it back to 18. Let's rewind it back to 1619.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
No, you know what? And we have a lot of people calling in. Some people calling in to say, "Hey, Dwayne, I don't know what they calling in to say."
You know, lately I've been thinking about 1984. I read that book in high school, and I think now I want to reread it again with not with that adult perspective that I have now. So.
Yes.
But that one's been coming up for me a lot with references back to that book.
Right, 1984. Oh man, what's the book by Aldous Huxley?
A Brave New World.
Brave New World.
Yeah.
Thank Ford.
Yeah.
I remember. I read that. I don't remember much about it, but I remember they praying to Ford like he was a god. Oh, thank you, Ford. And now I get it. Oh, I get it, Lord Ford. Oh, okay. Oh, Aldous slipped one in. You crazy, Aldous. Let me see. Should we?
Let's take a call.
Yeah, let's take a call. Hey, let's go to Jim. Jim in Chicago. Hey, Jim.
Hi, gentlemen. I not a movie, but I had a buddy, Italian guy I went to the track with. And when he was a kid in Mussolini's Italy, he said something terrible about Mussolini, and his cousin turned him in, and they had to leave Italy.
Whoa.
They had to leave Italy.
Jeez.
Yeah, and remember he facilitated Hitler and Franco in two fascist regimes.
Right.
But what I was calling about, I had the horriblest Saturday. They had 3 hours of the women abused by Epstein and Maxwell. And it was a horror story. These are 14-year-old girls being trafficked around the world. And by the way, nobody, you know, Dwayne, you've been around. If you had a new character who was in the running flesh around the world, I think you'd catch on. It would take me too long. All I know is this: if somebody sent me a birthday card like he gave to Epstein, and he's a 60-year-old man, if that was some guy that I knew was 60 years old and sent me a birthday card like that, I'd turn him into Mussolini. Because there's, you know what I mean? There's something wrong with. There's something definitely wrong with a 60-year-old man sending a birthday card to somebody like that.
Yeah.
I mean, is he kidding? And he knows that they've been peddling flesh for years.
Right. Basically, it was an open secret, you know.
Yeah, well, no, sure it was. And he had it in the way he said it, like, you know, they thought they owned these people, Dwayne.
Yeah.
I mean, Maxwell and him, they thought these were just commodities. These aren't human beings.
Right.
The psychological damage to these people was just amazing. They have to live with this every day of their life, every time they can't escape it. But,
I know.
Yeah, but remember this. What did Trump say? He said, the reason I broke up with Jeffrey is because he took my 16-year-old towel girl from the place. Here's another. I mean, he refers to her like it's his possession. This 16-year-old tall girl.
Right.
By the way, you know, put it this way: nobody owns me. When I was working at 16, if I didn't like the guy or the joint or wherever it was at, I'd take a duck the first day as soon as I could. I mean, nobody owns anybody, as far as I can tell. I don't know about you guys, but it was terrible to watch. It was 3 hours. I can't get it off my mind. And how the Prince of England, that nut, he had to pay $12 million because he's with some underage girl, 16.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are just sicker than dogs.
Well,
they're sicker.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. When you grow up and you're wealthy your whole life and you've always been indulged and catered to and accommodated, man, you just are impervious to real life consequences to some degree, you know? Because think about, I mean, the things that they've been caught at. Think about probably all the things they have done and have not been caught or held responsible for.
Oh, absolutely. Because he was given a sweetheart deal down in Florida. That should be a movie. When he went to court for the first time, the victim said, well, we thought we had him, but they didn't interview one of these people, one of the accused. They didn't interview the guy, Acosta, who was in the Trump administration, of course. Where else would he be? Right. He's the one that gave the guy that hung himself the deal. He gave him the deal. He walked out of there as free as a breeze. He went right back to trafficking people as fast as he could, because there's no cure for these people. The pedophile, there's no cure for him. But anyway, it's a sickening situation, and
I tell you something, Jim. Did you see this? And then there was when some of the victims went to Washington and they were on the steps and they were making the speeches, and then I forget the woman's name. She was on Lawrence O'Donnell later that night, and Anna. Oh man, what's her name? Jenna Jones. Somebody.
Well, whatever. God love her because
she was.
What she had.
And it's horrible. What happened to her was horrible, of course. But during the course that she was talking to Lawrence O'Donnell, and then she said, I voted for Trump. I was like, what? You voted for Trump?
Oh my God! She must have been, that's hostage. That's the hostage.
That's Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah, that's Stockholm syndrome. Without a doubt, that's like Patty Hearst voting for whoever. Yeah, because that's Stockholm syndrome. But that's how much brain damage that can do to you. Please believe me, that's brain damage that you can never escape.
Yeah.
Psychiatry's not even that. Psychiatry up until about 1950 was considered black magic. I mean, so
right.
we're only in the beginnings of psychiatry, but. For this guy, Cash Patel, not to know what's happening.
Oh man, that cat is so clueless.
Yeah, but I mean, what clueless? Did he have the 700 mules? He claimed that Trump won the election. He claimed he won the 2020 election. He's the FBI director, but we used to see what's redacted in that thing. It's so horrible.
Yeah.
What these two perpetrated on these people was just horrible.
I was just telling Paul, man. I was just telling Paul how I don't get how these people, some of them, not all, some of them are have always been cult members and devotees. But some of these folks, man, you hear them, they used to denounce Trump. J.D. Vance called him America's Hitler. And then they just turn around and now they're cult members too, man. Trump is the only person who lately has made me actually believe in God, because that cat he's got to be the actual devil. They described an antichrist for years, Dwayne, through the centuries. Whoever the most evil person is at that particular time, and it's usually somebody's trying to gain power through murder and mayhem and stealing and everything else. But this guy fits the description pretty well. Yeah.
But I think that the Democrat. I just hope the 7 senators in the Senate don't pass this insane bill that they're trying to pass. That to get rid of health care for 12 million Americans and every other havoc. We got a chance to stop that bill. And you guys, and I'm waiting for your Patty. And you guys have a great night. Thank you,
Jim. Thanks for calling. All right, appreciate you. Okay, we're going to go to break, but man, that's Jim. I love Jim, and we will be right back. WCPT 820 AM, Heartland, a signal.
Tom Hartman.
Autocrats generally, particularly those autocrats who have narcissistic personality disorder and are sociopaths, as is, in my opinion, Trump, typically do not tolerate high-profile people around them. They want to be the star of the show, and that's certainly been the history of Donald Trump. The only people that he will tolerate around him are people who, when he says, kiss my ass, they fall to their knees.
The Tom Hartman radio program, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Hi, my dad founded Chicago Community Acupuncture.
My dad did too.
That's because we're sisters.
Yeah, but it's true.
Acupuncture has helped billions of people, but some people are still afraid of it.
Why?
They're afraid it'll hurt, or that it won't do anything to help them.
That's silly. We get acupuncture all the time, and it's like less than a mosquito bite. And everyone knows that acupuncture can help a bunch of different problems.
Not everyone knows that.
Someone should tell them.
I think you just did.
So if you'd like to experience top-quality acupuncture at half the price of other places, come visit us at Chicago Community Acupuncture at Milwaukee, Devine, and Nagel. Call 773-853-0920, 773-853-0920, or our website, ChiCom Acu.
Chico Maku.
ChiComacu.com.
Or ChiComacu.com. Chico Maku.
Either way, we'd love to help you. Start feeling better today.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Welcome back to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Welcome you back. Are we back?
We're back.
Oh, man. Not only are we back, the Queen is back. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
Without further ado, Miss Patti Vasquez, everybody.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Hey.
It was the weirdest thing. I heard some of the shows last week. I was in an Indian restaurant in Edinburgh listening to you and Esmeralda Leon talking about Hispanic Heritage Month and if it's Latino, if it's Hispanic Heritage, and all the countries that got their freedom and from other for like Spain, and it was wonderful. It was really fun to listen.
Okay.
Night. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, it was a great week. Thank you all so much, Paul and Dwayne and Elliot, for holding down the fort. And I thank you for really the heritage now is just staying out of detention. I think is what the heritage we're looking for.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Have you heard about Latino History Month anywhere? You read about it in the truck.
Yeah. Well, and I saw these images coming out of the protests at Broadview where they were shooting these pepper pellets in their faces. The woman that was thrown to the ground, and then the guy came up behind her and got her in a chokehold for what?
Yeah, it's horrible, man. It's horrible, and it's just giving people who are just basically sadists and they just want to brutalize people a chance to do that under the cloak of law.
Yeah, and because there's so much money flooding into funding ICE.
Yeah,
and all that's like the biggest part of the budget that came out. They cut people's benefits for SNAP for food to keep people from going hungry.
Right. In
order to, like you said, find people who want to throw people to the ground, throw them in cars.
Yeah.
I saw a video of this was in D.C. a couple weeks ago. This guy had gone out to the store to get medication for his wife who had just given birth, and they were throwing it. They didn't, just because he had an accent and because of his skin color, because the Supreme Court has said this is okay to do.
Right.
His name is Eric Montes, and he was released because he was not here illegally, but he was begging them because he said his wife was, could die if he didn't get her these medications. And they were like, well, we'll straighten it out. We'll straighten it out. We'll take it down. The bosses will straighten it out. Have you ever been in a situation, Dwayne, where that this is not okay? Like customer service. Like you feel like it's unjust. Have you ever been in that situation where someone's treating you badly and you just can't believe it and you kind of want to yell at them, but it's going to make it worse?
It's going to make it worse. And then sometimes it can happen to you all kinds of ways and come to you in all types of forms.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the subtle, just the dismissiveness.
Right. Right, and I was just thinking to me once in a while I've gotten pulled over, and I think for people like me who are not in these situations where I'm not black, I don't speak Spanish, I don't look like I'm somebody who possibly could be here illegally, at least according to what they're going by.
Right.
I think a lot of people need to take a look at I was watching a creator talk about how fascism has been here for black people the entire time.
Oh, the whole time. The whole time.
And I need to rewire my brain. I'm amongst the people that need to rewire my brain and learn that.
Well, right. If aspect of fascism is controlling everything that you do,
yes,
and regulating every part of your being, certainly there were laws, and there's many more laws I'm sure that I don't even know about. But in the South, that you couldn't, as a black person, you couldn't look a white person in the eye.
Right.
That was you could die for that. Or if you're walking down the street, a sidewalk, and a white person is approaching, if there's no room, it was incumbent upon you as a black person to step off the sidewalk into the street, and it was the law was called yielding to your betters.
Ooh.
Yeah, or because they didn't want to call it yielding to those who were so profoundly insecure.
That's too wordy.
Yeah.
That's too much of it into the into the charging documents.
Yeah. But so I was looking at Richard Pryor, and when he had his television show, and there was a clip of him, and he was between takes, and he was doing this character Mudbone that he used to do, but he was doing this riff, and the thing he said was so funny because he's talking about this older black character that was in the 30s, and he said, I was bald headed because back then, I'm not gonna say it, back then N-words weren't allowed to have hair.
Oh boy,
weren't allowed to have hair. But it's funny, but yeah.
That's rough.
Yes, man.
Are we taking a break again, or is it? Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm well. This is weird that I'm behind the board and you're here.
That's okay.
This is it's different. Yeah.
I like your socks hat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry about the socks.
It's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I didn't know the.
I'm used to it now.
Hey, I'm a Cubs. I was a Cubs.
I think it's more congratulations about the Cubs because they made the playoffs.
Yeah. I heard that.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was just saying, when you start pretending that you like the Sox' feudal record, then is that like Stockholm syndrome?
By the way, we have to talk about.
Oh man!
I was listening to you guys talking about when you're so wealthy and you get away with stuff and you don't even know you're doing anything wrong. We'll talk about that when we come back too, because it's called affluenza, and someone got out of a case one time.
That's right.
We are driving it home. The host is Dwayne Kennedy, and I'm joining along with Paul Shavari. We'll be right back after this on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150. Thank you for joining us.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low temperature of 65 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we'll see a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 75 and winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Wednesday, chance of showers with a high of 70. Thursday, showers possible with a high temperature around 70. Friday, sunny and a high of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 82.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
Greg is on the line from Lake in the Hills.
I always recommend your show to everybody. I just really like your style. I like that you're a reporter, that you've got a background in reporting, and I just find your show and all your guests, like Jim especially, and Bobby and Dave, I think it is. I listen to all the time, and you're great.
Joan Esposito, weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on WCPT 820.
Check up on health with Chris Whitting.
It takes just 5 minutes for Dr. John Rumberger to get a crystal clear set of photos of the heart and find out how much calcium is in the blood vessels. If there's none, that means there's no calcified plaque narrowing the arteries and a lower risk of heart attack.
What we're trying to do is establish this as a standard of care in the community, that you can diagnose heart disease early, and that there are excellent ways of reducing the risk, and that we can follow the progression of disease. And the millions that actually do have heart disease that are undergoing yearly evaluations such as stress tests, this might be an excellent way to really do something very quick and easy that allows us to tell the patient if in fact their disease is getting worse or better.
Dr. Rumberger says the ultra-fast CT scanner must be accompanied by top-notch analysis by cardiologists. With Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's Progressive Talk from TuneIn.
progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversity Beer, Wine and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Patti Vasquez. I am back, and Dwayne Kennedy holding down the fort this week, along with Elliot Serrano and Paul Shivari. Thank you, everybody. And I had a great trip. Okay, let me go backwards a little bit. I was we ended our trip in Edinburgh. We went to. I'm not going to do the accent. Every time I try doing an accent, it's like either British or kind of Irish, so it's not quite right. I won't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started in Paris. We ended in. We went to Glasgow after that, and then Edinburgh. So today we were going through security, and I think Steve's bag got flagged. You know how they kind of divert your bag and it gets checked and stuff.
Yeah.
And Griffin and I got flagged. We had to take our shoes off.
Okay.
That kind of thing. But I was talking to two gentlemen, one from Germany, one from France, and they both were talking about how they will not be coming back to the United States again until the one guy said not until he's very old. Maybe he can enjoy it then. And then we ran into this couple in a wonderful pub in Edinburgh, and they were so excited that we were liberals. Like the one guy nearly dove over his wife to grab my hand and shake my hand because her husband said that his wife said that he's obsessed with our politics. She asked us if it's as bad as it looks, and I said it's worse than what you're seeing because I don't think they're necessarily seeing the same videos of because even the media is not really covering what's actually happening. But they were talking about this. So their son is a cop in Edinburgh, and he was telling us about how he went to Idaho and customs was giving him a hard time, even just crossing the border from his girlfriend's from Canada.
Wow.
And pulled him into a room and basically did an intimidation session with was just staring at him. And finally Fraser said, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And the guy was asking, he's like, where are you staying? He's like, I don't have the address on me. It's my girlfriend's family's property in Idaho. And was it? And he's he's light skinned, but could look like he's Arabic or Latino or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, but he's not white.
He's white, but I think his dad's a little bit darker, but curly hair, mustache. So a little bit olive skinned, I would say.
Right. Olive enough to get taken into another room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was he said on the wall was a picture of J.D. Vance and Trump, what are you doing here? And then Kristi Noem, this triumvirate.
Oh my, of evil.
Yeah, it was. He said it was very strange, but yeah, the general consensus there is we're not coming. And I was like, please come to Chicago. But even then, I can't assure anybody that they're going to be safe coming to the United States.
No, any place, man. It's just these cats are they're cartoon villains, but the villainy is real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I ended up at a thrift store of all things because I needed a scarf. And they were when I said I was from the night, I needed a pair of mittens. It was very cold in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And I wanted a pair of mittens for Declan, and the only pair they had had Canadian maple leafs on them, right? And I was like, well, maybe it's good for me because I can go incognito. And they asked me if I was from the States, and they said this might be a good idea.
Whoa.
And I'm one of the good ones. I had a resist button on with the Statue of Liberty holding a poster.
I voted for Kamala.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It
was wild. So one of the weird things that happened, we were in the Pantheon, which is basically it's this huge memorial to beating back. It was the French Revolution and all the heroes of France. Exactly, right. So it has a lot of statues and some artwork and everything, and then in the basement there Marie Curie is buried there, and Josephine Baker is buried there, I got to see her grave. And then there was a wall of all the heroes of the Revolutionary War, and it was all these young men. And I started crying.
Wow.
And and so I was just I wanted to get back upstairs to get back to Steve and Declan because the wheelchair couldn't come downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to get out of there. And these people were like, they kept asking me like, "Are you okay? You know, do you need something?" But they didn't speak English. They would ask me the one question, and then when I would tell it, because they were like concerned, and I was like, I just need to go find my husband. And then I tried telling them that we're going through this path down fascism, and I'm worried about where we're going. Right, and this is just eliciting this emotion. And they were all like, by the time, let me just put it this way, by the time we were done, there were 4 French people trying to understand what I was saying. And finally I had to get Google transcript and I'm like crying. And I showed it and they're like, oh yeah. And they just like gave me like this look of sympathy. Yeah. They were like, they all wanted to hug me. It was
wow.
strange. Yeah.
Right.
People get it. People are afraid for it.
Do you need anything? I need a country.
Can I stay? I was in Glasgow for maybe an hour and a half when I asked this woman at this church. She was a volunteer. We were talking, and she had moved to Glasgow from England because it's Great Britain, United Kingdom, it's England, it's all these different parts. She said England's getting more right. They're moving to the right as well. So she went to Scotland where it's more liberal. And by the time we were done, I was begging her to let me, if she would adopt me. I was I'm not kidding.
Oh, man.
I'm not kidding. I want to go to Scotland. It's wonderful.
Wow. I was there, I can't remember, 04 or whatever, but they were going through a thing where they were trying to separate from the United Kingdom.
Yes, they're still trying to.
They're still trying to?
They're still trying to be their own country, yeah.
Yeah. If you ever I did stand up over there.
Yeah, how was it?
Great.
Yeah.
I did a bit about old black religious woman that worked better in Glasgow than it worked in Austin, Texas.
Really?
And they love when you talk about how you can't understand what they're saying.
Oh, really?
I don't know what y'all talking about. We know.
I tried so hard.
Yeah.
You end up eating things you didn't order because they say something. You're like, sure, whatever. Right. Oh, I'm having haggis.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever it is. And I will say the care that they gave, and when I say care, I mean the giving way on sidewalks when they would hear the wheelchair or they would see Declan. People were very kind. And I would say it was the first, today I was on the plane. This woman was trying to convince me to move to Belgium, one of our flight attendants. She was born in Belgium, lived here for 10 years in Andersonville.
Really?
And has moved back because of the politics.
Oh, wow.
And she said, and she was talking about Declan. She's like, we have very good care in Belgium. She said, because he's going to need care for the rest of his life.
Right, yeah.
But then Griffin was like, well, I don't want to, because he's the guardian. He asked us to go to Canada instead.
Griffin did?
Yeah, he's like, how about Canada instead?
Closer.
Yeah, closer. But she, everyone was really sweet. I want to thank everyone at United Airlines with how wonderfully they treated us. So it's EasyJet is their version of Spirit Airlines, but so much better, like embarrassingly better.
Yeah.
Really, really. Although, when you've traveled to Europe, do you ever been on the plane where they start selling you stuff like not just the duty-free shops at the airports, but then on the plane, they're giving you like catalogs and stuff like perfume and vape pens and tobacco and booze, bottles of booze.
I remember getting that.
So weird. Makeup. Like, they come through with like a cart with like makeup and stuff. So the pinky, we were at the Eiffel Tower last Monday and we had a 10 o'clock, you schedule when you're going to go up. Okay. Eiffel Tower, and we came out, and it was wonderful, beautiful view of Paris, obviously. And then they have people selling souvenirs when you're on your way out, and there's crowds and stuff, and there's like these flashing versions of the Eiffel Tower, and so I was trying to just make my way through this crowd, and the lights were flashing in my eyes, and I tripped over a curb.
Oh wow!
And landed on I was trying to stop my fall, so I landed on my pinky and my ring finger, and they think now I went to urgent care. That's why I was late for the show. They think I broke my finger, so I have to go back for X-rays tomorrow.
Okay.
But hey, it's not a trip unless you've broken something or developed an infection.
I went to Europe. What would you bring back? A broken finger.
Broke my finger. It happens.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky because a generous friend of mine let us stay for very cheap at his apartment. Our theme song writer, Steve Goody, driving it home, has a condo in Edinburgh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was.
How much is theme song music writing paying? What the heck?
It's formerly in a project. So they've converted this like affordable housing into condos. So it's not like anything super fancy. So it was very nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And, yeah, I have to it was very nice.
Yeah.
And I love the area we were in. It was in the Leith area. Leith Walk was the neighborhood. So more of a working class neighborhood.
No.
Okay. I have to tell you the story. Okay. So right. Griffin. So we went to a lot of pubs, right? Griffin's 22, and so it's weird when your kids we should go. I heard this pub is really good, and this pub's really good. Okay, let me tell you this story when we come back because Griffin picked the last pub, and it was, and I had been I'd walked by it a couple times, and it's the kind of place you walk. Like I like dive bars. Yeah. I like the characters of the neighborhood. You hear people yell at each other, and I had heard this one on a couple of of my trips back and forth. And so when he picked it, I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And it did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Dwayne Kennedy in studio. We'll take your calls in just a moment. I'm Patti Vasquez, and I'm happy to be back. Thank you again to everybody. I've missed you all, though, because there's been a lot to talk about. I did not watch the reboot of the Third Reich over the weekend because, wow, that was nuts. But I think I getting away gave me a little perspective on what we need to do. We have to get back to our core values, which is fighting for labor, fighting for healthcare for all, fighting for housing for all. Yeah. And that's something that affects everybody. And that's what has to be our focus. We're going to keep talking about the things that pop up, the distractions. But when it comes down to it, people need to be able to stay in their homes, afford food, afford healthcare, not be afraid, and not have their entire lives co-opted by the billionaires because they have slithered in. And that's why we're divided. Yeah. So let's take a quick break here. We're back with comedian Dwayne Kennedy. We'll find out where he's going to be next in a moment on WCPT 820. Oh, and these segments are also brought to you by Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. I miss my friends at the Jefferson Park Market. We'll talk more about that later, too.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
How many times have we talked about good sleep hygiene? Probably more times than I can count. Keep your bedroom quiet, dark, and cool. Go to bed, get up around the same time every day. Turn off all your screens an hour or so before you go to bed. But what if you're one of those people who really likes falling asleep with the TV on? Now, believe it or not, some sleep experts we talked to said, hey, if it works for you, it might not be the worst thing. The key, they said, is that you're listening, not watching, and that you put something on that chills you out, doesn't amp you up, or require your attention. Then you're going to want to set a timer on your television, by your phone, or whatever you're listening to turn off or switch to some sort of white noise. That is, if you need some sort of background noise, and have that timer come on as quickly as possible after you fall asleep. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I swear, we're getting through the calls. I swear, all of you on hold, I will get to your calls. I have to tell us one last story before the break, before we take your calls. Dwayne Kennedy in studio with me. This segment brought to you by Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. For a limited time, they have a deal for you. Type in Drive Home 10 for 10% off your entire order. Maybe get a bean subscription or maybe some gay swag. They have a bag that says, sounds gay, I'm in. And they are single origin coffee beans. So please put your order in now and support them because they support us. So last last night in Scotland, so my husband just texted me and said, "Don't do your Lucky Charms accent." So last night we were out and about, and it was hard because like sometimes our schedule was sort of rough, and that we never knew when we get back to the neighborhood or try to get something to eat, someplace where a wheelchair could go in. By the way, if you're in Scotland near in Edinburgh near Deansbridge, there's a restaurant called Hector's that's fantastic, wheelchair friendly, has a specific bathroom just for wheelchair users and families with strollers, that kind of thing. So Griffin says he wants to go to this pub, and I was like, sure, why not? We go in there, and it's a little rough around the edges. This is something, the table's a little sticky. It's not terrible, right? And the booze is cheap, and that's always fun, right? And so I was just like, anyway, it's called, I'm just going to say it, right? Because if you Google it online, so it's called the Spay Lounge in Leith Walk, right? And the one review, I looked it up, and one reviewer said, how the F has this place survived and not been shut down and turned into a middle-class hipster dwelling, craft beer bar, like what has happened to most of the former shady bars on Leith, right? I think it's the last of the really shady bars on that. So basically this neighborhood is like turning into a Wicker Park almost. Oh, okay. Like not quite, but it was apparently a very rough neighborhood. And this is the last of them. But at any rate, so then I was like, and then this guy walks in, and I was like, he had a pizza box. And I was like, oh, I guess this is one of those places we can bring your own pizza. I was so tired. It took me a moment to realize he was carrying it like against himself, like vertically instead of horizontally. And I was like, that's not normal. And then I hear someone start yelling and cussing, get the F out! Get out! Right? And just yelling. And they throw him out the back door. He comes around to the front. I'm like, is someone going to get stabbed in here? Right? So then I look at some more reviews. I used to live above it, and it was an endless source of entertainment. I remember once, like a Tuesday at lunchtime or something, there was a rake of them getting dragged out and chucked into the meat wagons. They were screaming, swearing. Meanwhile, all the school children were out at lunch, stood about watching, eating their chips. It was great entertainment for all. I was walking with Leith Walking, this is my favorite, with my dog around one night when she clearly caught the scent of something and started getting totally nuts. When I got closer, I realized it was because the entire corner of the front of the spay was absolutely drenched in blood. Oh, somebody had been stabbed. It's terrible. But like,
oh man.
Yeah. So and I was just like, we have to go. We have to get out of here. But the Bears game was on, and
for real?
I don't know how it ended. How did the Bears game end last night? We won?
Bears are triumphant, my girl.
Okay, because we left right when Dallas tied at 14-14. And I was like, you know what? This guy's coming back in. I don't know how this is going to end. Let's get out.
Right. I'd love to stay, but the bucket of blood.
So that's the Spay Lounge. I encourage everyone to go down the street to the Central Bar, which is still kind of a local. It's not a high end, it's not a hipster place. It's a really cool neighborhood pub.
Okay,
so that's that. And they had karaoke going on, so it was a little more crowded.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, but karaoke with some of the Scottish locals, it was a little rough. I was like, it's always going to be rough in any neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever done karaoke?
I've been around it. I've been near it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of comics like it. All right, let's get to our phone calls. These guys have all been waiting patiently. Dave from Hoffman Estates out of the gate. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Patty, welcome back.
Thank you.
Dwayne,
hey.
Paul, who did an excellent job.
Yes.
Him and Lady B the other night.
Excellent.
It was great. He did a beautiful job. And answer Dwayne first on a couple of things. Before Patty showed up, you mentioned with Trump about how do these people, keep suckering for this dude. Well, they probably got the same mentality where they always say where these women usually gravitate towards the guys with the bad boy image.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mystifying.
And you mentioned about a show or a movie, like I told Paul the other night, that Twilight Zone.
Oh, right.
Season 4, episode 4, how he's alive.
Okay, you
got to watch that.
Yeah. I was asking the listeners to recommend any books, TV shows or movies about fascism or dystopian, that they liked or they saw, And I was telling them that, The Handmaid's Tale.
Ooh.
So and then
did you watch Handmaid's Tale?
I've watched all the way up until I haven't seen the last season yet.
It's good.
Yeah, I got to see it.
It's a good lead up to the next series that because now her daughter's going to be.
Oh wow!
The next series. Yes.
I want to see that. Yeah.
And then tying in a little bit about the Jimmy Kimmel thing, I read a story where on Friday night in ABC TV station in Sacramento had been struck by gunfire. There was a drive-by. There was at least 3 bullets hit it.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah.
And,
man.
Yeah. So, like Bill Maher told him on his show later on, he said, Jimmy, just go. He said, you'll land on a better station. He said, when your time comes, you should leave.
Everyone's focusing on Hulu and ABC, and I want to remind folks that the other angle, the point of pressure was from Nexstar and Sinclair,
right?
And our local Nexstar is WGN. And
so Nexstar bought GN or no Sinclair?
Nexstar did.
Nexstar bought because Sinclair was bidding for them, right?
Yeah, they were. When I was there, that was the back and forth.
Okay.
And it was about how many stations could they have because they had over 400. They had this there was a limit, and this is when Trump was in office,
right?
And they were lifting the limit for them specifically,
right? Because there used to be limitation, right? There used to be laws against how many stations you could own, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I would recommend folks pay attention to their stations that are Sinclair and Nexstar. That's where the pressure's coming from most.
Yeah.
In addition to the FCC. Go ahead, Dave.
And then the last time that was done, where they got rid of a comedian because he didn't toe the line, was Bill Maher when he had his politically incorrect show on ABC.
Right.
Back 20-some years ago, and because that time when they tried to say that we were cowardly and that with the firing the missiles at the distance and that.
Wasn't it also something about the people who flew the plane? I thought it was a racial thing too.
All of that, firing missiles from planes and that, and he got a backlash from the people, and then and then eventually the White House and Ari Fleischer and all these guys, and then so they gave him the heave ho and. Guess who got the time slot 20 years ago then? They set it up.
That was Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was ABC, that's right.
Yeah, right.
And I'll leave you with this one so you get the... I was reading...
you're right, that's right.
You might check with your Dan Schaefer up in Wisconsin about this story. I just read where this guy that's running for governor, the Republican guy, that... he's a conservative supporter of family values and a Donald Trump follower. And he got the explicit accounts online, sexually explicit accounts online, including a non-binary pornography performer, Bill Berrien.
Oh, wow. Really? Wait, let me get this straight, Dave. Republican was proven to be a hypocrite when it came to matters of sex and gender and things.
You mean the grinder crash during the Charlie Kirk memorial in Arizona?
All of the above, but he's been critical. He was one that was critical of transgender people in the opening weeks of his candidacy, but the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported that Berrien has an account on the online platform, Medium.com, where he followed non-binary porn performer even, and said the name, and several others of sexually explicit essays. And then, so he also followed publications which are similar to blogs that dealt with exploring sexuality, including having relationships with multiple partners. And
wow.
Do as I say, don't do as I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And it's so common and occurs so often. I think if nothing else, can't you at least be a more careful hypocrite? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's going to get out.
Say when you point the finger, there's 3 pointing back at you.
Right.
So.
That's right.
And a thumb.
All right, let me clear off. I know you got to go. But
Stay safe. Appreciate it.
Be well, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of. By the way, the other thing was how much the attendees of this memorial trashed this arena.
I saw a picture
like just
of that.
Garbage everywhere.
Yeah, they're nuts. And then did you see they showed some clip back before it was started, like they were fighting with each other, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a cult of psychopaths.
It's just very strange. And like I said, we'll continue to react. It's just human nature to see these crazy things and go. And we're comedians. We're observers too, right?
Yeah.
And people are watching the news. But I do think we have to. I have to figure out how to refocus into what the actionable stuff, which is getting involved, and we have to reach the people in rural areas. These farmers are going to suffer. I wrote a piece last week before I left town. There are they estimate in Arkansas alone, 1 in 3 farmers are going to go bankrupt because China is not putting in any orders for soybeans because of the tariffs. And they have a huge crop in many parts of the country.
That's just going to rot.
It's just going to rot. And the suicide rates are going up for farm. And there's a lot of people are mocking them, like, you voted for this. And there is a part of me that's like, when owning the libs costs you the farm was kind of my take on it, right? But also, like, these are people who, like, fell for it. And I feel sorry for the fact that they were conned.
Yeah. Yes, but I also feel sorry for us for the fact that they were conned at our expense.
That part. And everybody's part. It's going to be the whole country.
Yeah.
Let's take a break here. We're going to continue our conversation with Dwayne Kennedy. And we're driving home. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez. More in a moment on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music.
Turn up the heat on every drive with a Porsche from the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Our tariff-free vehicles are available for immediate delivery, like the 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease the 2025 Macan Electric for only $949 a month for 39 months. Don't miss out on the $7,500 EV tax credit ending September 30th. And grab your electric Porsche today at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. $4,929 excludes tax, title, license, and document. No security deposit required. Expires 9/30/2025.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low temperature of 65 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we'll see a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 75 and winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Wednesday, chance of showers with a high of 70. Thursday, showers possible with a high temperature around 70. Friday, sunny and a high of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 82.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome. And he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky. But that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram. And it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your...
Do we not have news over here? I don't know what just happened. Did I miss the news? It's not in my thing because I just have that commercial that's supposed to. Let me recue that. What should I do, Paul? Should I just play the theme song and start the show? Yeah, I don't. It's not in my tray. This is what happens when I come back. I push buttons and things go off the tracks, Dwayne. I already screwed up the show. They're gonna. I can't go on vacation anymore, or I'm gonna. This is my last show. I'm not sure which it is.
You might have been Kimmelized.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. Let me. Let's just start the show, everybody. Let's do it live.
Yeah, we're doing it live. With Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez.
From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
And Dwayne Kennedy. Yes, that was not good. I should not be allowed to sing on the air. That's Steve Goody, the writer, singer, performer of the theme song "Driving Home with Patti Vasquez," who was gracious enough to lend me his flat in Edinburgh.
Now, every time I hear that song, all I'm going to think is that cat lives in France.
He lives in Nashville. Edinburgh's in Scotland. I was in Paris. The hotel in Paris, I used all my frequent flyer miles for that one. It was a cool, like a little one bedroom. The washer dryer situation. They have like a washer dryer in one unit, and it costs a lot of anxiety. There was one point where I couldn't get my clothes back out, and it was time to check out. I was like, I need my son's pajamas back. You can't throw me out of this room. I'm Patty. I am back from Scotland. Dwayne Kennedy, Elliot Serrano, Paul Shivari. Thank you, everybody, for holding down the fort for me. Esmeralda Leon. That came to me in a church. I was actually at Notre Dame in Paris. I turned to Steve. It was Steve. I'll be honest. I could have said that it was my brilliant idea, but we had talked about Alicia Molina, Gwen La Rocca. I was Soli Santos. I wanted to bring in Latinas.
Absolutely.
But I was thinking comedians, and Steve said, get Esmeralda.
Yeah, she was great.
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fantastic. They're great together.
And don't forget Jaime De Leon.
Jaime was here on Monday. Yes, thank you. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for holding down the fort for us. Thank you to our sponsors for making these shows possible and continuing to support us. Please support them because we have a lot of catching up to do. There are less than a dozen really progressive radio stations in the country, up against 1,500 conservative stations. Probably growing because they also have 700 religious stations that continue to highlight Republican people.
You think there's any one religious station that's like devil worshippers?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I almost had a guest. I think I told you this. I was going to have a guest on that was part of the satanic church. Do you remember this? Like 2 years ago, I was going to have you on because I was like, I think that you would be earnest in and I don't know what questions. I thought it would be a more dynamic conversation than mine just talking to them. And then they were like, well, why do you have to have a comedian on with you? And I thought, well, maybe this is going to be awkward.
Yeah.
But they wanted the right to be able to give the prayer at the Illinois State Assembly. They were suing the legislature because they bring in like pastors and rabbis and all these different folks to kick off a session, and they wouldn't allow them to also be a part of that. And,
oh man!
Right. So they were suing.
Right, because I mean, by rights, they should be entitled, right?
By the way, there's so many things in my head.
Yeah.
There was, I saw this clip of this woman who was talking about if you work in an office that says that, if you are being turned in by your coworkers for saying something bad about somebody, right, about this person who had been recently unalived, I guess is what we're saying now, right?
Yes.
This assassination. If if they think that you're not saying anything kind about them, say based on my religion, they did not do Christian things, and I need to call them out for it because what they stood for. But to use if you're religious, say use religious protection for yourself, and say it goes against my religion to praise them because they go against the things that they stood for. Their racism, their misogyny goes against my religion. And I have to denounce that kind of behavior based on my religion in order to protect themselves from HR.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Oh my goodness.
We're in a weird territory. So that's why I thank our sponsors. Source Solar. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis, and find out if it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. We also want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. Put in an order for their great coffee beans. They are a single origin coffee bean roaster, and they make the best coffee. I can't wait. I'm back to get my coffee.
I'm sure, Patty, I know your listeners and I know your sponsors are glad you are back because I was effing up some sponsorships left and right.
Okay.
What was I supposed to say? Oh, my God.
PrideCoffeeRoasters.com, and we'll be back at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market coming up. I want to say next Sunday. I'll be back. I'll be volunteering. The market starts at 9:30, goes to 1:30 right over there at Lawrence and Long. So come on out and hang out with us. Thank you to our friends at Kids Above All. Go to kidsaboveall.org and support their mission to help children live happy, healthy, safe lives. And thank you to Minocqua Brewing Company. Today, my Mocha Monday piece is up. I wrote a column last night. This one, it was on what are you willing to give up?
Okay.
Your couch or your country.
Mm-hmm. I mean, where can you read it at?
Oh, you can read it on Substack and MinocquaBrewingCompany.com newsletter. So thank you very much for asking. And the Patti Vasquez show page on Facebook. And it's about, I saw these two creators talking about one black woman who is like, this country isn't going to be lost because of Trump. It's going to be because of us. Because we're not willing to give up our comfort in order to save ourselves. And I thought it was really interesting. I mean, like the people who fought for Social Security, for the 40-hour work week, for child labor laws, for all those things, they had far less than us. Like we're worried about not making a mortgage payment. Right. We're worried about not being able to watch the shows that we like. We will fight with our neighbors over a parking spot before we will fight the billionaires for our rights to survive.
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
So that's what I wrote about today. And then the other creator, I think her name is Amy Thomas, talks about how it's been done before and we can do it again. We are living in Gilded Age 2.0 because the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, they own 1 to 2% of the GDP. And right now Elon Musk owns between 1 and 3%. Peter Thiel. While we fight with each other over these things, while we let this Third Reich reboot divide us, while the billionaires are slithering in and robbing us blind. So as I'm talking about was the farmers. Was that the farmers are very vulnerable right now. A lot of them, this may be their last year of farming. Generational farmers who have been passing it down, for decades, for 100 years maybe, and the Chinese are not ordering. They're ordering their soybeans from Brazil. And then you have these huge investment companies like Acre Trader that are just chomping at the bit to buy up this land for pennies on the dollar and basically turn a lot, into either feudal lands or, just we're going backwards.
Yeah.
We're going backwards. So somebody wanted to talk about that real quick. So let me just get on that and I will get to all the other calls. I know that Roosevelt was next, so please be patient, Roosevelt. Hey, Ron, what do you want to tell us about farmers?
Hi, Patty. Patty, out here where I live, there's lots of farms, and nobody has started harvesting yet. Of course, the weather's been warm and dry, so maybe they're just letting it hang in the fields. But I've read about that too, no markets. But the thing about it, these farmers who are mostly white, I'd say, they turned their back on black farmers. If you remember, a few years back, black farmers were trying to get readjusted because they've been discriminated against for decades, and white farmers turned their back on them. Yeah. And black farmers, of course, did not get their benefits that they were overdue. And so, it's real bad that we're going to lose a lot of these farms and farmers, and they're going to commit suicide and all, but they're white supremacists, a lot of them, and they support Trump, and that's about the only way we're going to change minds is to let their minds be erased. And hopefully before we have to civil war each other, a lot of them will commit suicide. And I'm not kidding here.
It's really sad.
Because
it's heartbreaking.
It is sad.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes here, and because I live right here in the midst of them. Okay, this town used to be a sundown town, up until the '60s. It's got a long history of vigilantism and all of Michigan. All right, just like Indiana. So,
hey,
what can
Ron,
I tell you?
You don't have to say where you are, but are you near Howell?
No, Howell's a little further away. I'm close. Actually, I'm real close to South Bend and Benton Harbor. Kind of like right here in the middle. This actually used to be Al Capone's farm region.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big vacation area for a lot of Illinoisans too, Benton Harbor.
And Jewish people, too, had a lot of resorts here, too. And because they were discriminated against also in this area. So, but thank God you're still on the area, Patty, and your guests. So
thank you. Yeah.
Keep the fight up.
I appreciate that. Why, did you hear something that we might not be?
Well,
No, I'm teasing. Thank you, Ron. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Man.
I'm gonna give Roosevelt a two-parter. We're gonna start Roosevelt and then take a break and let him wrap, unless he wants to do something quick, because Roosevelt's been on hold for a long time. Okay. Hi, Roosevelt. I've missed you.
I missed you.
Hey,
thanks for Dwayne and all your special guests that you had last week. They did a great job.
Excellent.
A lot of laughs. Let me jump on. Oh God, my head is spinning, you guys.
I know. We've been jumping around a lot. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you know how I am. I have ADHD.
Yeah, I sent you a bunch of stuff. So in case you, which I don't think you're going to run out of things to talk about. But back to you, Dwayne. You were talking about shows. Was it a show from the 80s with Larry David called Fridays?
Yes.
The one you were talking about? Yeah, I remember that show. It didn't last that long. I don't know. Maybe
it was a Saturday Night Live knockoff type show.
Exactly.
Larry David was on it. Michael Richards was on it. Melanie Chartoff.
Wow.
Yeah, and Bruce, I think Mahler, I think his name is. Daryl Isaacs. And some of those, well, Larry obviously went on to create Seinfeld. And then, obviously, then he cast Michael Richards, Melanie Chartoff did a guest spot on Seinfeld, as did Bruce Mahler. He played the chatty, gossipy rabbi.
Yeah, you know why I remember it, Dwayne? Because I remember seeing the Cars, the group, the Cars. They were on there.
The Cars,
they used to have music. Yeah, but back to you, Patty. I'm going to recommend, and to you too, Dwayne. I'm going to recommend a show called Philly. Do you guys remember that show? It's with Tina Davis. Tina spelled with 2 E's. Tina Davis. It was about these lawyers. Oh, it was so good. And they just canceled it. I think it was on ABC.
It's
I don't
called
remember.
Philly?
Philly like the city or Philly like the horses?
Philly like the city.
Okay.
And it was all these lawyers. I don't remember the premise of it, but it was so interesting. And it got into their private lives and how lawyers are and all these cases that they would take. But it was so interesting, and it drew me into this show. I mean, it was a series, but then they just canceled it. I don't know how long it lasted.
one season. Wow.
Oh, that happens a lot.
I know.
Hey, Roosevelt. Now, as far as shows that deal with fascism or oppression or dystopian or what is it? Communism. Like one of my favorite shows. Did you ever watch The Americans?
Oh. I don't know if that's dystopian. That felt kind of like biographical, true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true-topian. Yeah.
And Patty, so you could catch up, the young lady that was thrown, her name is Kat
Abugazala. She was one of the people that was thrown, but there was another woman who was wearing a skirt. Now here's the thing I want to talk about. Let me take a break here. Hold that thought, okay? Because there was another woman. There was another woman who sat down cross-legged in front of the car, and she was picked up and thrown. And then she came back, and the guy put her in a chokehold. Kat was tossed, and Kat's like a little tiny thing, and she was thrown on her butt. This was somebody else who. And I want to talk about that when we come back on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and our friends listening on KTNF AM 950, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Thank you for joining us.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
WCPT will be broadcasting a live in-person Union Strong panel on Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. And you're invited. Join me, Tom Hartman, and WCPT's morning host, Richard Chu, at the Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center in Broadview. Panelists include Paul Wendy from Ironworkers Local 63, Rob Fulton from Riggers Local 136, Cliff Horowitz from Horowitz & Associates, Andy Rico from IBEW Local 176, and Tom Villanova from Southland Friends of Labor. This event is proudly sponsored by Ironworkers Local 63, Riggers Local 136, Horowitz & Associates, IBEW Local 176, and Southland Friends of Labor. Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m., Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center, 2523 Lexington Street in Broadview. That's just off the 25th Street exit on the Eisenhower Expressway. All listeners must register to attend this free event at WCPT820.com. Just click on the banner.
A tree can be a warrior, battling global challenges with greater courage. A tree can be a solution, cleaning our air, supporting our communities, and protecting our wildlife. A tree can be noble, growing hope in every corner of the world. That's why now is the time for trees. Millions of trees. Join our planting movement at arborday.org.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
This is Patti Vasquez. Thank you all so much. Thank you to my friends who were holding down the fort while I was traveling with my family. We went to Paris, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. I loved France. I loved Paris. It was really cool. Okay, let me talk about it. Let me do Roosevelt first, because I had him on hold. We were talking about the protesters in Kat Abugzala, who was thrown to the ground. She is a candidate for Jan Schakowsky's seat. She's running for Congress.
Oh, okay.
Mayor Biss was there. He is running for... maybe they're running for the same office. They're running for the same office? Yeah. So they're both running for Congress, for the congressional seat that Jan Schakowsky is vacating. We have you up, Paul. We have a no, it's Comrex. Oh, I'm not going to play this game. We're not going to play. I knew it for a day on how to pull Paul up. But so they're both running for office, and God bless them for showing up. However, when I was asked by Kirk Bangstead, who wrote a column yesterday about the images he saw coming out of Chicago, he's like, so, where do I tell people to go? So I thought, oh, well, these folks are in the news and they were at Broadview. Surely Mayor Biss or Kat Abugzala has, by the way, I know I'm not doing justice to her name. Also, we waited an hour for her to come in studio and she never showed up for her interview in person. Man. So I just want to be clear on that. I did practice it that day and it's fallen out of my head. So apologies to her. But at any rate, I couldn't find on their pages like, hey, show up. Let's, bring signs, bring supplies. Here's how you can support us. Bring water bottles. Here's how you make sure if you're being also lead. Mm-hmm. Lead. Mm-hmm. Right. All I'm seeing are the videos and maybe I'm not seeing it. So, at any rate, Roosevelt, that's what I wanted to mention was when you mentioned Kat, the congressional candidate. Yes, she was thrown, but there was another woman who, first of all, so she's sitting in front of the car, and one of the ICE agents raises his weapon and points it at her face as she's sitting down, cross-legged in front of a vehicle. Points a weapon at her. I don't care that it was rubber pellets or if it's pepper pellets or whatever.
Doesn't matter.
He raised his weapon at her and then picked her up, threw her to the ground. She sat down again, and then he put her in a chokehold, and the other ICE agents had to pull. How crazy and unhinged you have to be for other ICE agents to go, that's too much.
Right. When your fellow ICE agents are reeling you in. But that's the thing is, it's appealing. They've lowered the standards for what the qualifications to join it, and it's just a lot of sadists and kooks and
I'll tell you, folks. Yeah.
Insecure, whatever it is, racist, whatever you are, now's your chance to abuse people under the color of law and authority.
For your quotas. There's video. Roosevelt, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want you to think you weren't part of the conversation. But at any rate, yes, all those things. It's crazy out there.
Okay, well, let me jump into other things that I wanted to talk about. Do you guys remember? Because you guys mentioned, I think it was Dave. Dave mentioned Bill Maher. Do you remember the orangutan incident?
No.
Yeah. Trump sued him for $5 million because he said on his show that his mother was an orangutan, and he showed a picture of it. You don't remember that?
Oh, man. Call mom's a tang.
You don't remember that? I remember like it was yesterday, man.
That was Bill Maher did that, or who?
Bill Maher. Look it up.
Here.
I mean, and then he took the lawsuit back. He threatened him with a $5 million lawsuit.
Funny.
Man.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Wait, guys. He said he put what was it? He had said that he could prove that his mother was an orangutan. Something to that effect.
Oh, boy. Jacob.
What happened to that Bill Maher?
Yeah,
what happened to that
the
guy?
fun one, the mirth maker, started getting richer. And
I do want to talk about comedians for a minute because I agree with folks who were saying, like Mike Birbiglia, who I would not think would even take a stand politically, but he was taking a stand on comedians and freedom of speech. And you look, like Kimmel was hired to be who he is, right? And I know he started out with the Man Show or whatever, right? But he's the role of the comedian for centuries has been to poke fun at power.
Right.
And ABC...
The court gesture used to make fun of the king.
Yeah, and they could.
Yeah.
And I do have a problem with the guys who were bitching about cancel culture, like Dave Chappelle and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Now not saying it, like, that's canceling.
Right.
You're just mad because you can't be mean.
Right.
You're mad that people are telling you you're a jerk and we don't like it.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
While we're on the subject of celebrities, there was a Variety article that 400 celebrities joined ACLU, including Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and I meant to tell you, Patty, there's a petition. Maybe it's not relevant now because Jimmy's coming back tomorrow, Jimmy Kimmel. But it was Comedians for Kimmel. Did you know about that?
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
So look at that. Maybe you want to put your name on the list. I put my name
absolutely.
on there. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I've been on the show a couple of times. So.
Yeah. Is he nice?
He was always cool. I mean,
excellent.
I didn't encounter except when I did the set, but he was cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate your call and hearing from you.
I think it was
Roosevelt. I've heard it both ways. I've done that before. I'm so sorry, Roosevelt and Dave and Roosevelt. I have jet lag. I've been awake for a long time. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I hope you had a good time and you're ready to go because we need you.
I'm fired up. I'm not rested, but I am fired up. All right, thanks so much, Roosevelt. Let's go to David in San Francisco. David's calling about the farmers that we were talking about earlier. David, what's on your mind?
Yeah, thanks, Patty. Yeah, I'm a big fan of George Washington Carver, and if you've ever studied him, he had not only did he invent a whole bunch of, it was 400 things out of the peanut, but I think there were 600 things out of soybeans, and among them there were things like plastics and oils and paints and varnishes and all sorts of different things. And when we're hearing about these tariffs and how it's tearing apart the farmers, the famous old black inventor, George Washington Carver, not only invented, 1,000 different things that can be made from those two products or those two beans, but that he put them into public domain. So you don't have to pay royalties on paint or varnish or ink or all these different things. And since Trump's killing the farmers with his tariffs, it's a real nice opportunity to have a creation of small cottage industries. Say someone wants to, a co-op of artists want to make some, different types of paint for, painting classes or something like that, or house paint for that matter. And you could have a co-op and, go out there and buy a couple of hundred, a sack of beans is 100 pounds. you can make a vast amount of stuff out of them. And so that's one opportunity there. And just by coincidence, earlier today I was messing with Texas and talking about the same theme, about how the farmers are getting eaten alive by the tariffs. Well, it was a Texas station, and this guy is one of those old dumb bigots, and they can't get their lies straight. He couldn't admit that Trump did the same mistake 5 years ago, or probably more like 7 years ago, by doing tariffs and almost killing all the farmers back then, too. And he denied that there were any tariffs back then. And he basically slammed down the phone when he realized he said that there's no inflation right now. And so just thinking about that, there are a lot of ways of messing with Texas and messing with these mega types. But the real reason I wanted to call, though, is being a comedian or being in the theater. I'm wondering if you have people that are you're associated with that have, like the booking agents or the people that work with maybe the lawyers that work with booking agents. I'm guessing that when Donald Trump and the Charlie Kirk crew booked that stadium, or a number of stadiums around the country, they booked it as a nonprofit. But if you paid attention to it, apparently they're talking about how much swag they had. Yeah. And they made a vast fortune. Yep. And I'm betting that there's some contractual violations because they got the stadium cheap, maybe even donated, but they made a fortune selling swag. So I'm guessing that I'm going to have a lot of fun messing with them because I'm going to talk about them as merchants in the temple, where they were out there. You've got a funeral and you're making a profit on a funeral. So, there's got to be a number of different ways of messing with them. And the contractual.
They're not going to absorb the fact that contradiction in Christ's teaching or the word of the Bible.
They're psychopaths. They don't care. They're sociopaths.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate that you're going to poke them with it.
Yeah. Do that now.
It's inch by inch. It's definitely inch by inch because there are some genuinely religious people in there, and when they realize that they got not only snookered, but the stadiums got snookered too, and they expect a good return on the use of their stadium. If they really had it full, there's got to be damage to the lawn, by having all those people down there on the field.
All kinds of trash. Yeah. They trashed the place. It looks like. But
just like they did when they broke into the Capitol building and took dumps in the hallway.
It was a tour. It was just a little tour. Thanks so much, Dave. I got to run. We've got a guest on the line. Thank you so much, my friend.
Okay.
Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to talk to our friend from Iowa. We've got Brittany Ruland's going to join us in just a moment. She's the Iowa reproductive rights advocate and political advisor. Joining me in studio is comedian Dwayne Kennedy, who is appearing at Timber Point coming up in what day is that going to be? That's
this Saturday.
This Saturday, September 27th, along with Bill Bunker and MC Trisha B. That's at Timber Point, and that's a golf course up there on Woodstock Road in Poplar Grove. So go ahead.
Nothing gets you in shape like golfing.
Go to it's golfthepoint.com. That's golfthepoint with an E at the end.com, and you'll see the event right there. It's the happy hour and dinner buffet from 6 to 7:30, and the show starts at 7:30. More in a moment on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low temperature of 65 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we'll see a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 75 and winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Wednesday, chance of showers with a high of 70. Thursday, showers possible with a high temperature around 70. Friday, sunny and a high of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 81.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. In 1939, when Europe was on the brink of war, a single mother was bringing Jewish refugees into her home, teaching her two daughters to help others when you can and fight injustice. Freddie and Tross Alferstegen took their mother's advice to heart, joining their mother in distributing anti-Nazi newspapers and pamphlets for the resistance, a dangerous act when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. But with the girls being young, Freddie being only 14 and Tross being only 16, Nazis were less likely to suspect them to be working for the resistance. This is most likely why in 1941, a commander of the Haarlem resistance group to ask their mother if he could recruit Freddie and Tross. Their mother and the girls agreed and were given basic training, and within 2 years, the girls were bringing Jewish refugees into hiding, working in emergency hospitals, sabotaging bridges and railway lines, and killing Nazis, sometimes ambushing them from their bicycles. Despite the Netherlands not wanting to acknowledge the girls' achievements, their contributions to helping the Allied powers will never be unnoticed.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Hi, this is Patti Vasquez. We appreciate all our fans of Driving It Home, and your support of show sponsor Minocqua Brewing Company ensures that our important conversations continue right here on WCPT each weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can now find the Resistance IPA, Labor Lager, or the Resistance Pilsner beer at several Illinois locations, including Armanetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Pineapple and Company in North Riverside, Lyons Beverage Depot in Arlington Heights, and MP's Liquor, Wine, and Beer in North Aurora. For a full list of Chicagoland locations, please visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. As always, please vote and drink responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue to drive it home. Joining me in the studio is comedian Dwayne Kennedy, who's appearing at Timber Point. That's you can go to. It's a golf course. You can go to golfthepoint.com and make your reservations for dinner and comedy with Dwayne Kennedy, Bill Bunker, and the MC is Trisha B. Joining us on the line is one of our friends that I'm so looking forward to catching up with. Brittany Ruland is joining us. Brittany, I know I've asked you before, but am I saying your last name correctly?
You are saying it correctly. Thank you.
It's been a minute since we've had a chance to catch up, and I don't even know where to begin. But Iowa, we were at the Wing Ding last month, and one of the things that jumped out at me, I have to be honest with you, and I've been trying to follow it and understand it, is Iowa has I believe the highest cancer rates now in the United States. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's definitely not something that we're thrilled to carry number one in the country. But yeah, it is. It is. We actually just lost a volunteer that I've worked with several campaign cycles. Her name was Brenda. She got very aggressive ovarian cancer, and she passed away over the summer, and it happened very quickly. And it's just really kind of sinks in when it starts being people that you know, and it's like that's definitely something that's going on, and we have not been talking about it very much. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
Well, because I was really astounded by it, and I know there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of research into it. Only now we have someone who's running our Health and Human Services who wants to, shine a light on Tylenol as being something that we should be afraid of now when we're pregnant, or that's what causes. It's just a mess, and I. When we talk about losing so many services, I mean, healthcare coverage, access to medical services is going to be decimated in the next couple of years, which means that Iowa is even more vulnerable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very interesting because I know there's a lot of people I've talked to when we were, calling on Congress and trying to get everybody to mobilize and tell them not to pass the bill that's going to gut Medicaid and everything. And what I kept hearing from people was, well, we have Iowa. The states will kind of push back and do what they need to do, and it won't affect us till at least a year or things like that. And then you are already hearing about, even personally, for my daughter who has needed some of these services for mental health reasons. Within 2 weeks of that bill passing, they started shuttering the care coordinator department here in Iowa already because they know that they're not going to be able to make up that budget. So it's happening fast, and it's definitely very, very difficult. And I'm somebody that's obviously in the trenches, so I know how to advocate for my daughter better than a lot of people do. And so my heart is just broken thinking about all these families who are now going to be in the position very quickly without realizing how fast it's going to happen, and they're going to suffer because of it. And then the cancer rate thing happening at the same time that news came out, we ended up getting put on water restrictions in Des Moines specifically for higher nitrate levels than you can consume. And it got to the point where, people don't water your lawn, but then things that they're not telling you, don't boil the water because you're boiling nitrates. If you heat up nitrates, that's really dangerous too. So there's just a lot of things that don't make sense at the national level that, just here in Des Moines that we are seeing happening, and they're happening quickly. So it's just, it's very disheartening, and it's very frustrating because we're hearing one thing and then we're living another. So.
Hey, Brittany, this is Dwayne Kennedy, by the way. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Now, is it particular areas of Iowa? Where in Iowa is this happening primarily, where people are contracting cancer? And are there particular types of cancers, or just what's happening?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We are seeing a lot of rural areas tend to have higher percentage rates. A lot of that is, interestingly enough, when I first moved to Iowa, I learned about the way that the aquifers run under the ground. It's not quite the same as other places that I've lived, and it is something that local farmers especially and ag workers have been flagging for a while for this very reason, is that the runoff from these big pork farms who are working around the clock, things are getting into the water there, especially in the rural areas. It's just seeping into the aquifers because the aquifers are closer to the surface than most other states are. So we're definitely seeing rural areas being hit harder. However, we're also seeing a shortage in rural hospitals and rural health care happening around our state too. And so it's a little bit harder to track statistic-wise and numbers because these people are having to drive hours away just to get treatment and sometimes just even get diagnosed. So this is just a constant cycle that we're perpetuating, but we are definitely seeing it higher in the rural areas because of the big ag and the farms happening out there.
And is that also an element of deregulation so that, what the farmers are responsible for maintaining as far as what the runoff is into the aquifers, or is that something separate?
Well, it's interesting. It's a yes and a no. So we're seeing at a national level that the deregulations are happening, but they're mostly happening for those big corporate farms who are not your everyday just family farms who have done this for 5 generations, et cetera. They're not getting as much of the slack as those huge people, I'm not going to name any names, but those big ag companies who are out there doing this are seeing tax breaks. They're seeing things that they don't have to go through the red tape about anymore. It's definitely predominantly those bigger companies that is affecting. And then the smaller family farms, which we want to have, are being so conscious and aware of this. And they're yelling at the top of their lungs saying, if we can do it, why can't you do it? We're a quarter of your size, but we care about the land we have because this is our family land, and we care about the water being clean and all of these things. And they're just being totally steamrolled over by those bigger companies and the EPA and everything with that. So it's very, very frustrating.
How much is this affecting the political landscape in Iowa? And we know we saw, with Caitlin Dre's race, and I know there have been a couple other instances where, some positive moments. What do you see going forward, and how you can sort of gain momentum going into 2026?
Yeah, and this is a really great question. It's been on my mind a lot, too, kind of just watching it all play out. I don't know if y'all had seen, there is an article I would recommend for everybody to look at if they are interested in what's going on in Iowa. The political landscape has changed a couple of times just in the last few months. Obviously, Governor Reynolds decided not to run for re-election, so we're watching that play out. But then when Senator Ernst just dropped out, that was something that I don't think a lot of people anticipated was going to happen, especially after her messaging saying everybody was going to die anyways, right? Yeah. And so it was like everybody just kind of thought she was gearing up to battle with all of that stuff. And so it's changed quite a bit over the last few months. And I would say for the better, as long as we organize and do things correctly. I think we have a really unique opportunity right now that I don't think many of us expected we would have for the midterms. We were all kind of settling in with, okay, how are we going to get through this? Like, what's the most important thing to put funds towards? Who's going to do all these things? And something that I have wanted to see for years is people announcing much earlier than they have previously. And we did see that happening this go around, which I was very happy about. And so I think that is important because it gives us more time to get messaging out. But we got to do it right. There's no other way to say it. We have the opportunity. It's there. We've gotten lucky enough to have the opportunity. Last cycle didn't go well, and that's just being frank about it. And, I don't think leadership has shied away from that at all.
Good.
It didn't go well. Yeah, good. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And so it's like, are we going to learn from that and we're going to grow and we're not going to continue to do the same things, just hoping for a different result? So that one, I am seeing in individual candidates. There are some really great candidates running right now who are doing a great job at bucking the system. And I think that is really important if we are going to get back on the map for congressional, U.S. Senate, but all the way down. Like you said, Caitlin Dre just won, and that was a huge swing. So if we were able to do that, let's get down to the reasons why we were able to pull that off, and that is organizing. People being, on buses and going down the Sioux City and everywhere that they needed and going and knocking on doors. This is a people-powered movement if we want to get this right, and I think we can. We just got to get out of our own way. So I think I have some hope if we can do that. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Brittany, I always want to thank you and everyone that you work with for really putting in so much energy and devotion into trying to essentially help the people of Iowa and thereby also helping the United States. I mean, that's what it comes down to. The more we can gain ground in communities like yours, the better we all will be.
I completely agree. And I know we can do it. I know there's a lot of people who are still on the fence on whether or not they want to help Iowa this go around. But I think if anybody is on the fence, I would just say to them, whether you want to run for office or want to just be involved, don't hesitate to be vocal about it. Don't wait to be asked. Seek things out. There are a lot of candidates right now who would love to have some help, whether that's, I know some of them are doing paid canvassing. I know some of them are needing volunteers. We're doing a lot of event stuff that we're seeing in the early on days to raise money. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because if we don't, link arms together, we might not get the opportunity to do what we could do this cycle. So,
and more than that, we might not be able to do a lot of things. What can people do? Yes. Where can people go to support the work you're all doing?
Right now, you can just go to individual candidates pages. I know obviously Zach Walz is running for U.S. Senate. So is Nathan Sage and Jackie Norris. All those people are great. Just kind of depends on what your top issues are. So you can go to any of their websites. And then you're going to start seeing more activity from like Polk County Democrats are awesome. I have a good friend, Kira Barker. She's the executive director of Polk County Democrats. They are very active. They are definitely one of the big people that has been like pivotal in that race that we were able to pull off in the special election. So definitely check them out. They're really good at getting info out for all the counties if they have things. And then just look for parades locally and just be willing to, do an event or get out of your comfort zone and just Google one of them. You can sign up on email to get information on events coming up.
Outstanding. Well, I look forward to catching up with you again. I really want to do everything we can to highlight the races that you're working on and the work that you're doing. So thank you. Have a great evening, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care. I love talking to Brittany. Bye. Let's take a break here, and we'll wrap up in a moment with some of our calls. And we're hanging out with Dwayne Kennedy, who is appearing this Saturday, the 27th. The 27th? Mm-hmm. It's already the 27th.
I know, man. It's almost the end of the year.
I know. What is happening? Dwayne is appearing along with Bill Bunker and Trisha B at Timber Point. You can go to golftimberpoint.com and look for their event, and you can get tickets right there. And tickets by today's the 22nd?
Yes.
If you buy tickets by tomorrow, you will receive a free drink.
Oh, man.
So you should go to golfthepoint.com and take advantage of the free drink offer right there. More in a moment on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
If you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Corey called to consolidate his debt and was so happy with my advice, he left me this 5-star Google review. Quote, I was looking to pay off debt, so I reached out to David after listening to his radio show. David called me personally and walked me through my options. He shot it straight. There was no beating around the bush or pushing me to sign anything. If any of my family or friends need anything related to a mortgage, I'll give them David's number because you can't get better or more honest service. Thanks, Corey. I strongly encourage everyone to check out our close to 600 5-star Google reviews from listeners like Corey. Team Hochberg helped Corey and thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 1124061.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
We're hanging out with Dwayne Kennedy as we head into the home stretch. I'm Patti Vasquez, back from my trip with my family. It's not a vacation. I don't think when you travel with your family and you're like running around and you have you've got a window of time where you've got to get to the Eiffel Tower. I mean, and by the way, I sound incredibly privileged. I went to the Eiffel Tower and I went to Edinburgh Castle.
And it was so boring.
It was just, I saved up 500,000 frequent flyer miles for all my cards. So it was I think so far, I think altogether probably it was way less than it sounds. So it was just kind of cool to be able to do. Yeah, because I've been traveling for 10 years and I just kept raking and they let me roll these miles over. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's great.
I was very happy, and it was kind of nice to watch things from afar. And because it wasn't I also wasn't sitting in front of my TV, so I didn't even accidentally I wasn't even tempted to turn on any news channels. I might scroll and Aaron Parnas is the news person that I look for breaking news. I learned from him that Jimmy Kimmel was coming coming back.
Oh, okay.
And I like his style. It's just very straightforward. And his dad was also inside the Trump circle. His dad was indicted and found guilty of being a fake elector, I think, like in Georgia. So he and his dad is like, they're very much against Trump now. So it's kind of interesting to get their point of view. And obviously, it's biased in the sense that they just very matter of fact report the news. He'll say this is very bad, or this is really bad for democracy, or this is, this guy, the Homan, who's on tape for taking $50,000 in a paper bag at a restaurant, and they're like, he was set up. He took the money.
They don't care. They don't care. They're just corrupt to the core, and they don't give one F. And if you are working at their behest, there's nothing you can do that they will indict you or call you in account, hold you account for.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Let's get to a couple phone calls. They've been on hold. Let's get to Steve in Des Plaines. You're on with me and Dwayne Kennedy. How are classes coming, Steve?
Class is going great. I am the official history major of the Patti Vasquez Driving at Home show.
Oh, excellent.
And things are rocking. Things are rocking. Hey, you guys are talking about ice and all that. As you know, Patty, I'm a bricklayer, tuck pointer, whatever, roofer, painter, and I'm 72, and it's starting to get old. So I'm actually considering going to the TSA because they're hiring now. And now get this. I went on the ICE website for applying to ICE, and they're offering $50,000, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of things in ICE. This is not only taking people out of the country. There's a lot of other jobs that are probably fairly legitimate. And you'll notice that on the site for what they call deportation specialists, that's what they call it, the requirements for joining are very low. No degree, high school diploma minimum, that's it. You don't have to have college. And they have a tab for 40 and older, okay? A separate tab. So they're hiring for 40 and over, and they're offering student debt forgiveness, okay?
Of course.
And so it seems that particular category, and it's the lowest paid amongst ICE specialties. There's like 9 or 10. So these are thugs. These are thugs.
Basically.
These are thugs. In essence, they're thugs.
Yes.
Probably. They're probably a lot of former military probably who may be falling on hard times. And quite frankly, $50,000 signing bonus could buy someone a house. So I get that. I mean, a down payment.
That's the insidious part. The money is so good.
Exactly. And let me tell you, and I say this whimsically, that I'm gonna apply. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm 72. It'd be interesting, and maybe I can. And I'm former military.
You don't sound like it though. You sound much younger.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. Thank you for that. I'm 72 going on 42.
Nice.
72 going on 42, and that's my attitude. Now, I'm a former Marine. I was an MP and I worked in corrections in the Marine Corps. I got a leg up, so I might get hired. It's a long shot.
You probably will get hired. I don't think it's that long of a shot.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I got 3 years of college and work, and you know what I can do, and I say this whimsically, that I'll apply for shits and giggles, but I'll be. I will
Poops
be
and giggles.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I can't. I thank you so much. You got very fired up there and said a word that I had to dump. I'm glad I was paying attention there for a second. Thank you, Steve. You almost got past my jet lag. I know it was an accident. I love you, Steve.
One more thing, please. If I join, I'll be an undercover person in the ICE, and I'll write a diary, and I'll make millions. I'll write a memoir.
Ooh, I like that.
Hey, Steve, did you hear this? That some people saying the strategy should be, if you're against ICE, hire into ICE and then sabotage the works. Have you heard that?
I like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Anyway.
I can't do it. I think it'd be pretty obvious I was doing that if you just, she's got a radio show.
Yeah.
She's been bad-mouthing us. She doesn't like any of it. She likes all the videos where we really kind of mess things up. Now he's got me wanting to. I'm afraid to swear because
I thought you spilled something the way you reacted.
No, he said poops and giggles.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Max, we're about to wrap up. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hi. Oh, yeah. So anyways, I've been working for a French company, I think, for like 30 years, off and on. So I actually go to France, but I really never go to Paris. But when you go to Paris, Monet's house is just, it's 75 miles away.
Oh, cool.
Paris. You could actually take the train over there if you wanted to.
The trains in Europe are amazing, by the way. So good.
When you look at his paintings, the ones in his garden, all that is all set up like if he just painted them yesterday. So
That's amazing. Oh, thank you. Was there a book you wanted to recommend as well?
Okay, yeah, and the book that I wanted to recommend was, and it doesn't have a good title, but it's called White Trash. And what it is...
That's a good title. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well,
is that a book or a neighborhood? No,
it's actually a book. And it's actually a 400-year history of whites coming over to America and the way that class was set up in the way that we see it today.
Nice, all right.
Black.
By Nancy Eisenberg. I appreciate that.
You don't even see them in that book. They're not even in their slavery. Whites are slaves. You know, and the way that they're treated, they could actually starve to death. You know, so basically the people who work there, the low class white people, you know, so this country wasn't just cruel to the Native Americans and to the blacks that they brought over here as slaves. They were actually cruel to the white people that they actually brought over here to serve them before they figured that they could get black people because the white people were running away too much. You know,
gotcha.
That's where our history comes from. So we need to know our history before we really look at how we can solve our problems.
I don't know if we have time for that. Oh, we definitely don't have time for that. I got to go. Thank you, Paul Shivari. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Dwayne, are you maybe coming back tomorrow?
Lucy.
All right, we'll see. He's going to be at the Timber Point on Saturday. Go to Golf the Timber on the website.com. I'll let you know about it. Anyway, good night, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Yeah.
Turn up the heat on every drive with a Porsche from the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Our tariff-free vehicles